Greetings, you all. How's everybody doing? It's been a minute since I've been here. I wanted to come in today and chat a little bit because Mercury is finishing its retrograde. Hi, Denise. Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? How's everybody doing? How you guys doing? So Mercury is finishing its retrograde. I will say this has been a really rigorous Mercury retrograde for me, because it's like forced me to be inside of myself. And one of the things that I am really discovering as a person who lives more in the feminine than they do in the masculine, meaning that I direct my life from the inside out consciously, because the feminine is the internal, the feminine is the magnet. Oh, Chameleon, I was thinking about you. I was laughing at those things you sent me, those memes. But the feminine is the masculine. The feminine is the internal and the masculine is the external. And in order for us to generate our lives, because we're always generating our lives. Let me be really clear. We're always generating our lives. We don't know that though, because we work for people. Because, we're in environments where we're not having to put everything together. So we don't see how we're really generating our lives. But the thing that I have learned this retrograde is how detrimental it is to my power when my energy is externalized all of the time, most of the time, in my head, right? In my mind, working things out, figuring out things, and not being willing to feel. This universe is a place that you have to feel your way through. And we don't rely on that feeling energy because we have these systems in place. We have these systems in place that tell us, this is the day you're supposed to be this, or this is the age that you're supposed to do this. And if you don't have this done by this time, you're too late or you're too old. And all of that is masculine, patriarchal ideas that are based really in capitalism and white supremacy. And it's because the people who created this system don't have access to the invisible realm, to the internal realm, the feminine realm, in the way that those of us who are melanated beings, who are women, and who are melanated women, who lean more into the feminine, is what I'll say. And what I have discovered, because I've been doing healing work for years, y'all, I have been doing healing work for a long time, all my life, because I always felt out of place. Things just never fucking felt right. Things couldn't make sense for me, or I just always felt like we were doing everything backwards, and we have been doing everything backwards. We've been doing it from the external to the internal, rather than from the internal to the external. And how it's in every area of our life. It's the way Christianity totally usurped the feminine, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. No feminine at all. It's the way we have externalized our government, and we vote for people and they're supposed to go do all these things, but those things never get done, right? They can't get done because that's not how it works, right? We have named God a father and not a feminine, which in the feminine is the creative. We have delineated women to being, only valuable to be mothers and sex. We've cut off so much of what we really are. We are denying so much of who we really are that our lives can't work. Your life cannot work because your way of being is out of step with your authentic nature. And so, like, I remember there was a time for me when I would spend so much time in my head trying to figure stuff out. What is this? Thinking about what tomorrow, and not in a way, not in a creative way, because we are creators, right? And your thoughts do matter. But if your thoughts are anchored in fear and separation and oppression and scarcity, and you're in your head trying to figure it out, and that is a very different energy than someone who is using their imagination and visioning and feeling. And what does it feel like to be happy? What does it feel like to be open-hearted? That's a very different energy than somebody who is like, oh my God, am I going to be able to get this job? And how's this going to work? And most of us are functioning from that very hyper mental masculine way of being, because we live in a culture that is constantly feeding us narratives of scarcity and fear, shooting black people in the streets, like all sorts of chaos. And people we are cut off. We are living our lives from here up. And your mind can only ever lie to you. Your mind can never tell you the truth, because the mind is only connected to the 3D reality, the external reality, the mental reality, the masculine reality, which is already dying. The life comes from your inside, from your heart, from your joy, from your creative energy, from your sensual energy, from what you feel, from your inner world, right? And so one of the ways that I would see myself do it is that whenever I would get money, any amount of money, I would be in my head going, I need to use this for this and this and this and this and that, right? And what I started to realize was that I was using money as, how do I say this? Like money was using me. I wasn't really in my experiences. I wasn't really in the reality that I'm abundant. My needs are always met. Everything flows through me. Everything that I need it comes to me easily. And because I wasn't in the feeling of what's true about the universe and the flow of the universe, my money was always blocked. Like I could never really be in the flow. But when I started working for myself and doing work that I actually really love and that actually is true to my purpose, when I started being intentional and like, I'm here to serve. I'm not here to get rich. I'm not here to get rich. I'm not here to take anything with me. When I leave this motherfucker, I'm gone. So I don't have to have a whole lot. Like I'm here to add value and benefit. When I started thinking that way, my money started to flow and the universe started working on my behalf. So now everything I do creates this abundance, but it's because I'm moving from a feeling. I'm moving from what feels good to me. And when something doesn't feel good, I don't fuck with it. It's as simple as that. And it's so important as women or women who live their life from the feminine. Like people are talking about feminine energy. You got to understand that feminine energy functions in the feelings. Feminine energy is, how does it feel? And so if you're not acting from what feels right? And so for months, I have had to take everything out of my life because I didn't really know how shit felt. I was doing things because I was obligated. I was doing things because this had to be done, or they said, or this is what everybody's doing. When I wasn't doing it from the space of, is this true for me? It was slowly making me sad, depressed. It was drying up my energy. It was drying up my pussy. It was drying me up. It was literally when you function from that very mental place, it dries you up. And that's why women can't get pregnant now. Like, that's why people, I can't get pregnant because you're too in your head. Your energy is dry. You're not using your juices. You're not functioning in the feminine. So when you're not functioning in the feminine and you are out there functioning like the masculine, your feminine energy begins to deconstruct, and you can't conceive. You can't conceive new ideas. You cannot conceive babies. You cannot conceive new realities. You cannot conceive anything because you're too externally focused. So you're running too hot. And when I really realized that about myself, it's starting to change everything. And that is the problem with this reality, is that we are living in somebody else's mindset. We are functioning in the ways that are not natural to us. But the problem is that we don't know it. We don't know it because what we're doing is all we've ever known. What we're doing is what our mothers knew. What we're doing is what we're doing things that we inherited, but what we inherited were systems that are designed to drain our power and vampire our energy. And we continue to stay put in them because it's normal. It's what everybody else is doing. It seems right? And so we continue to do it. I mean, one of the most interesting things, like, I have been having what people call menopause probably for the last couple of years. And everything I see about menopause is completely negative, right? Belly fat and all this sort of, I am having the best time. I get to have sex now without thinking about getting pregnant. It is freaking amazing. But you won't hear anybody say that. You won't hear people talk about the benefits of this because they want you scared. They want you on medication. They want you feeling like, oh, I'm not sexy. I'm not sensual. Everything is turned upside down, y'all. It's all lies. And so because every woman is saying this this is hard, everybody else believes it. And then we think our way into the same negative experiences because everybody's saying like, oh, it's so bad. But your body does change, yes. But when you make the shifts with your body, I have learned to talk to my body and love my body and be in my body and eat and drink waters and juices and teas that keep me juicy and keep me fluid and keep me feeling good. And so I'm not having those menopausal experiences. Because there's another way to do things that are natural. We have to live from the inside out. But many of us have not been inside of ourselves. I remember when I started realizing that I didn't really know myself. Just a year ago, right? I've been doing, just a year ago, I was like, you've been studying all this stuff, but you don't know how you really function. You've not lived in yourself enough to know. And now my energy, since I've cleaned all those lies out, now I can just hold something in my imagination for long enough. And within an instant, it's here. Like, it shows up. I can reach out and ask for support. And I decided I'm going to paint my apartment. I just called my uncle and he was over here today. Okay, well, we're going to do this. I called him. I think I called him this morning. I actually think I called him this morning. He was here by this afternoon saying, what you want me to do? Because my energy has just opened up. Because I have removed the lies, the narratives that say, because you're this age, it's supposed to be bad. Because you're black, it's supposed to be hard. Because you're a woman, it's supposed to be this. Because you're that, you're supposed to be married. I've literally gotten clear, like, who am I? Who am I? What's true for me? Not what does, every time I see somebody online and they say you're single, well, what's wrong with you? You're single. These men have tricked us into believing that our only happiness can come from if we have one of them laid up next to us. And I'm going to tell y'all something, a secret about marriage, what it can be, because I can't speak for everybody. Marriage is a prison for women. Marriage is a prison for women. Unless you are an awakened woman who has a partner who is excited to be alive, you are going to end up being his helpmate, because that is what men believe it is. I have uncles, I have brothers. I'm telling you, they all think that women are here to serve them. That's been my experience. Now, of course, there is something else. Say hello to the kitty. Say hello to the kitty. Say hello. Oh, la, la. Oh, la, la. Hello, la, la. Hello, la, la. But if you as a woman want to have your own power, find your energy inside of you. Don't seek it in a man. They don't have the power you're looking for. They don't have the thing. I promise you, men do not have the thing you're looking for. Unless you are looking for a man where you actually feel like you want to be taken care of, like you want somebody to pay all the bills and you don't want to have to work. There are women who are that way, and that's fine. And if that is your agreement, by all means, do it and have fun. But if you want to flourish in your femininity, be a free woman. Be a free woman who can use her pussy however she wants to. Be a free woman who can choose her reality for herself, who doesn't have anybody telling you how to live your life. Live your life on your own terms. I'm telling you, it's the best choice I've ever made, because I have access to magic. I have access to magic. The soft life, as they are now calling it. And what is the soft life? Is the soft life being married to somebody, or is the soft life being on your own? Yes, because I have access to magic. I spend my days in support of my clients, in support of my community. But I don't do a lot. I do not do a lot. I am a conduit between the heavens and the earth. That's what I am. And so my needs are met by my higher self. All my needs are always met. And I've had to adjust some things so that I could be really authentic. So that I could really be in alignment with my truest beliefs. So I don't use Western medicine. I'm not vaccinated. It wouldn't even occur to me to do anything like that. I am pretty much a vegetarian. I shop at farmers markets. I heal myself. Like if anything's going on in my body, I heal it myself. I'm woven into the natural reality of our system. When you were talking about having a man pay all the bills, etc., that's what they are now calling a soft life. That's so interesting. Okay, that's great. I have a soft life, but a man doesn't pay my bills. The Creator pays for everything for me, and it's a miraculous experience. And like I said, I think people have to do whatever they want to do, because if I had a man in my life paying my bills, I would feel like I needed to be something that he needed me to be. And I just want to be what I need to be. I don't want to compromise my authentic self for anyone. I want to know fully who I am in my own terms. I want to be fully aligned to who I am on my own terms, so that I can own myself and fully use my energy in the way that feels right for me. And if that ever one day includes a man, he's going to be so lucky. He's going to be the luckiest man. Because I am really clear that when women are free and when women are true to their natural way of being and desiring, what we can access is far beyond what any man could ever imagine. And so what happens for us is that we then will need a man's opinion and permission. And no man can give me the permission to create what I see that I'm creating. No man could give me the permission for that. I know probably one or two men who really are very magical, and they get it. They get it. And because they get it, they stand on the sidelines. And they ask, how can they help? How can I be of service to you? What do you need? But they're not trying to tell me what to do. They're not trying to be the boss of me. And they're not negotiating their resources for my vagina. Because anybody that I lay down with them because I actually really desire them. I really want to connect with them. I really want to experience the power that is them, and I want to share the power that is me with them. And you can't negotiate that. You can exchange goods, if you want to, but like what I'm wanting from a man is power to create the reality that I desire. I don't need, if he wants to give money, sure, but what I really need is your energy to help me envision a world that fucking works for women and children and all human beings who are here in service to something good. Like, that's the kind of man I want to lay down with. I don't want to lay down with a man who's like, you got to do this because you're the woman and you got to, and no, that's boring to me. That is boring. I want to lay down with a visionary. I want to do sensual sexual things with somebody who is empowered and is like, how do we make a better world? That's what I want. That's what I desire. So that's who I am. And that's what I hold my frequency at. And that's who I magnetize to me. And because I'm a free woman, not just free from men or any, but free to be who I create myself to be. And because I'm that, any man or person or human being in my life either matches that or is aspiring to that also, because I also teach people how to be free. Because it's no fun being free by yourself. It's not. And I teach women specifically because why? Women create the reality. We are the masters of this reality. Every human being comes from a woman's vagina. Everyone. And men will say, but you can't do such and such and such without our seed. That's true. But women, there was a time, like people don't understand, if people study, there was a time on the planet when women, we were androgynous and we would impregnate ourselves from inside and have a child. Animals are starting to do it again because we're moving through this cosmic shift. So there could be a time on the planet again where women are able to impregnate themselves without a man. A man is simply a woman turned inside out. That is what a man is. A man is a woman turned inside out. And that's a beautiful thing. So, so I always want to invite you guys to come and join Follow the Sun. Go to my link tree here or go to my website, Heal with the Moon Mama, and join my community, you guys. You can join a class or you can join a free group, but every day we are doing the work. My community is there to teach people how to really grow your intuition so that you can learn to see with your inner eye, how to begin to embody your feeling system so that you can learn how to magnetize, because the world is changing and the world that we grew up in is going to be nearly dead in the next few years. I'm telling you, what's coming right now is really interesting. And if you haven't moved into your God consciousness and your way of being on the planet that is really authentic, you're going to get swept up in this nonsense. And the most important thing for us to know now is that we are God. And what does that mean? You are creating your own reality. You are doing it whether you think it or know it or not. It is what is happening. And can we join Follow the Sun with? Yes, you can join Follow the Sun without a membership. You can. There's a link there. You can just join without a membership. And then there are things that I have memberships too, but you can just join the community and you don't have to join. I do most posting in the membership places, and I have several. There's a $8 membership monthly. There's a $22 membership monthly. There's a $44 membership monthly. And then there's the 13 moons right now, and that's $111. But my intention there is to create a community of people, specifically people who are geared towards harnessing their feminine energy. You don't have to be a woman to harness. Everybody needs feminine energy. And when I say feminine energy, learning to trust your intuition, learning to develop your gifts. Follow the Sun is a community designed to help us develop our gifts, to help us develop our powers, our ways of being that help us be God, right? Your intuition, your insight, your psychic abilities, your healing energy. That stuff is natural. Everybody has it. It's been commandeered by the world. Thank you so much. It's been commandeered by the world. Thank you. I like my fro too. My hair, I just took my braids out and I haven't washed it. So it's actually dirty and dry, but I'm going to get it done soon. Yeah. So, our gifts, our energies have been commandeered by this world that we live in. So many of us are not functioning as we're meant to function. And so Follow the Sun is designed to help us practice so that we can begin to live into the gifts. We have to practice. You have to practice using your intuition. You have to practice using your psychic abilities. You have to practice using your capacity to build a reality. You have to practice using your connection to your higher self. You have to practice it. And when you practice it, you develop it like a muscle. And so now I can just think of an amount of money in my mind and hold it. And then that money has to come because I've cleared out the nonsense and I have a straight connection to source now. But. And I have practiced this for years. I've practiced it. And because I practice, I have access to it now. I had to practice my way into it. And so that's what Follow the Sun is. So come and join and practice. Practice. We do ancestral work. We do inner child work. We do healing, our parental work. And all of that then clears up the energy so that your gifts can come online, because all of that unforgiveness and shame and guilt, all of that is blocking your gifts. And when you heal that stuff, when you heal it, when you free yourself from it, the energy opens up and your power begins to flow. And you're going to need your power. That's what I'm saying. These next few years are about to be intense. So if you don't have access to your power, you're going to be in trouble. Some of the things that I can do that are really interesting. I can speak to the technology. It's a trip, y'all. I can, if I can't figure something out technologically, I can just go in my mind and say what I want it to do, and then it'll do it. It'll do it for me thinking it. Sometimes it can take a few days and I have to really see it the way I want it, but it'll do it. And like they keep saying AI, but I'm like, I'm AI. If I can go in there and do something, and I can't do it. Like I haven't been able to like see a picture of an amount of money in my mind and see that in my bank. I haven't been able to do something like that yet. They're not going to be able to control us when we learn how to use our energy. They're not going to be able to do anything anymore. Anything. But we have to practice. You have to practice. Yet. That's right. You have to practice. And so you gotta come and practice. Come be in the community. We have to do these things together. You can't do this stuff alone. I'm not saying you can't, because some things you have to do in solitude. But what happens is when we start igniting our gifts, when one person gets a gift and it's like, oh, I can do this, then everybody can do it. Then how did you do that? How did you do that? Oh, I can do it. I mean, this is how I learned how to have orgasms, like asking my girlfriends, like, so tell me how you did such and such. How did you? We learn from one another. We learn, it's just, oh, you did what? And you had to think it. Okay. And then I can generate my own orgasm, but we learn from one another. That's why you have to be in community together so that we can be together. That's why, they're like, they want you 6 feet apart and afraid of one another and scared because all this energy and power is coming in. We're going to pop like popcorn, but they've been trying to keep us apart so that we won't ignite one another, but we're going to activate one another. That's why you got to come be in spaces where people are doing it. Because otherwise, everybody's doing the same shit. Everybody's fighting over such and such and complaining, and that just creates more of the same. So in order for you to really grow, you have to be in spaces where growth is happening. And if you're not in those spaces, you're not going to grow. And so Follow the Sun is probably not the only space. I love the community that I'm creating and the people that are there already, because it's a devotion, and it's like people are starting to get it. And it's so funny. Like one of my clients, we did a whole Mercury Retrograde thing, and we're doing our closing ritual tonight. And one of the students in the Mercury Retrograde thing, we did Mercury Retrograde and we focused on money and transforming your mind around money. And one of the students said that her student loans were paid off $82,000 just like that. Because when we start to know who we are and we start to live in this understanding of abundance, nothing can block you, and you stop being scared around stuff and you start speaking up, and the universe just starts rewarding that. So money just starts to come. Like just in the last week or so, I just like that $10,000, right? Just came out. They have us emotionally igniting each other with exactly. And we have to emotionally ignite each other with joy and love and anticipation and excitement. But you have to be in those environments. You have to. And that's what I'm generating at Follow the Sun. And so anyway, y'all, I love y'all so much. These cherries, it's cherry season here in Los Angeles. Okay. Come. You can join in my link tree. And peace and blessings. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.